Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, and we're getting the most horsepower out of this naturally aspirated V10 engine. I'm about halfway done with the V engines in the LCV update of Automation's version 4.3. So for this engine build, the first thing you gotta do is go to the top left portion of your screen and set the family year by maximizing it to 2020. And after you've selected the V90-degree V10 engine configuration, you must choose the aluminum silicon heavy block material because of the good power density and the ability to upboard this engine as much as possible, which you'll see later. For the engine bore under family capacity, you maximize this to 120 millimeters, and the stroke is you increase this by a bit to 91.2 millimeters, which equals for the family capacity at 10,314 cubic centimeters, or about 10.3 liters. And we'll be choosing for the heads, dual cam 5 valves per cylinder, with the head material, I guess aluminum silicon also. It can be anything you want, but mainly aluminum or above for the most power. The quality slider, as you see here, if you see one, just maximizes to a plus 15, and right next to the quality slider right here with the sandbox tech pool, you click on this to open up this window for the sandbox tech pool. And under engine tech with this new window is you set everything to a plus 15, such as for the engine in general to a plus 15, the bottom end, the top end, you can skip the aspiration if you want to, 15 for the fuel system, and for the exhaust. After you get everything set here to these numbers, click on Apply Changes and we'll head on over to the bottom end of the engine. So like I said about the upboring part, under variant capacity of the bottom end section is you increase this as much as possible, up this by 4 millimeters, which should get the engine size to 124 millimeters, which will get it to the true engine size, the new engine size of 11,014 cubic centimeters, or 11 liters exactly. For the crank con rods and pistons, you're going to be the best, pretty much the best to a certain extent. So billet steel, regular billet steel crankshaft with the titanium con rods and the piston set to a forged heavy with the use of a balancing shaft. And you increase the counterweight slider from a 50 all the way up to 100. You maximize this, which should increase this by 91.1 pounds. For the compression, it's pretty much the usual in this game, 16.0 to 1 extreme level, cam profile at 100, which is a full-blown racing setting, the springs and lifters 9 clicks up to a 59, with the use of VVT for all the cams, with the RPM limit set to 8,400 RPM. And skipping over to turbocharged because it's naturally aspirated, sooner or later I'll jump into the most powerful turbocharged build. So for the fuel system, the usual injection, direct injection, throttle per cylinder with a racing intake manifold, and the manifold size is set to a large boy at a 93. The fuel requirement we're using is good old nitrobethane, aka the dragster funny car fuel that we got going here, 127 AKI. The ignition timing right below the fuel type is you advance this as much as possible by setting it to a left, advancing it to a negative 5.0. The fuel mapping is set more towards a lean setting down to a 30. Finally, for the exhaust headers and everything, is we set the headers to a tubular racing headers with the header size set to an 86, with a single exhaust set to 121 millimeters or 4.75 inches. And no cats and no buffers as per usual, with the quality maxed out right here to get the final horsepower rating of 4,769.7 horsepower at 8,400 RPM and a torque rating of 2,982.1 pounds-feet of torque at 8,400 RPM. So, it's pretty much the common theme with my other engines with the LCV update version 4.3 of the game. The power and torque is peaked at around redline, and for the con rods here with the reliability going up in here, is that we got 96% of reliability reduction because the pistons, or excuse me, the con rods are technically set and rated up to 6,300 RPM. If I were to bump the engine RPM limit up to 8,500 RPM, just one click up, unfortunately, this will kill the engine as we can see here as the con rods have failed due to excessive RPM, rendering this engine broken and the record of 4,800 RPM as invalid because it doesn't run. So I guess I'll give you a listen to this engine right here by first doing a basic old pull test and try to do the fake gear shifts like I did with version 4.2 by manually starting it and playing with the RPM target meter here to try to do those fake gear shifts. So first of all, do a pull test right now. So yeah, my figure shifts with this new version of Dino Screen, still pretty piss poor compared to the seamless gear shifts back in the old version 4.2 of this game. So unlike the V6 and V8 where the horsepower difference was fairly small, this V10 is a huge jump compared to the V8. It's an 11-liter engine that screams like a Lamborghini V10 with a power rating as much as the Devil's 16th. Also, fitting this engine into a car in automation may be difficult as you may have to find a modded car body in the game's Steam workshop to use this huge engine when driving it in BeamNG. So anyways, that'll do it with Automation, the Car Company Tycoon Games version 4.3. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. So this is TRIZE Rising Up, and signing out.